Hello everyone, this is Adhika Vadar from Extra Coding YouTube channel. So friends, in today's video we're gonna learn star arguments. So, what are star arguments and how do we work with them? That all we're gonna learn in this video. So guys, suppose if I have made a function add, okay, and here I pass two parameters a and b, okay. Now here I will return a plus b, okay. Now let's call this function add, and then let's pass the arguments, let's say 2 and 3, okay, and let's print it. Okay, so you'll see that it is working properly. See, okay. But now if I give more than 2 arguments here, so let's say 4 and 5 as well, okay, so you'll see it will throw an error. It says type error, add takes 2 positional arguments but 4 were given, right? So here that's the problem. The number of parameters that we have passed, only that number of arguments should be there. If there are more than that, it will be a problem, right? And here if I give only one, you'll see that still it will throw an error, right? So for this we can use star arguments. So here let's make another function. Let's just comment this out, okay. So now let's make this function using star operator, okay. So def add, and then we will put here star operator. So this one is star operator. Now we will write here args. Now according to convention you should write args, or you can say arguments here. But if you want, you can write anything here like A, B, C, D, or anything like numbers, strings. You can write anything that you want. But according to convention, you should write arguments after the star operator. It's more good, or you can say better. Okay. So now here let's just return done right now, just for now, okay. And here if you'll call this program, function, so you'll see that we can pass any number of arguments here. So see 2, 3, 4, okay. So if we'll run it, see, okay. Now let's increase the number, let's say 5, 6, 10, okay. So I have increased the number. See, it is still working the same way, right? Now let's just change the code, okay. So here what will you do? We'll make a x variable 0, okay, and then we will use for loop for I in args. So guys, one more thing, x plus equals to 1, sorry, I, okay. So here I have to tell you that when you are passing this argument, so these all arguments go to star operator and it makes a tuple of that and passes it, right? So let me just show you once, okay. So now if I let's just return args. Okay, let's just return args. See, it is giving a tuple here, and if you want to see the type, so you can see it like this also. See, class tuple, right? So here, when you are passing the star operator, right, then only you have to put a star. But after that, you have to work it like this only. You do not have to put the star every time when you are using this args or whatever you have written here. Okay, so here let's remove it and right, and here let's return x. See, here's the answer, right? So it is working quite good. So here you need to remember one thing, that it converts, or you can say it makes the tuple out of the values that we have passed. Okay, so you can write star operator makes a tuple of arguments. So hope this is clear. And here let me show you also that if you want, you can write anything here. So here let's take star a and use a here, but here you do not have to put a star, right? As I told you, you only have to put the star here. Now let's run it. So you'll see it will still work the same way, right? But as I told you, according to convention, arguments is more good. Okay, so here if I make a normal parameter here, so suppose if I have a parameter a comma star args, right? So here now the output will be 28 only. See, it is only 28. Earlier, if you remember, it was coming 30, right? But now it is only coming 28. Why? Because now the first argument that we are passing is the value of the first parameter, and after this these values are the part of star operator. Let me show you. Here if I print, or let's return a here first, a. See, it is returning 2. But if I return args here, you'll see that it is 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. As you can see, 2 is not there because 2 has assigned to the a parameter, this parameter. So here, earlier, let's remove this for some time. If we do not pass anything here, you'll see that it won't throw any error. See, it is not throwing any error. But here, if I pass a, now you'll see that it will throw an error. See, add missing one required positional argument. means you have to pass at least one argument for this parameter. Okay. So if there's a normal parameter, you have to pass it. And for args, it's up to you whether you pass or how many values you pass. So here you have to pass one argument. So let's say 2. And then after this argument, whatever number of arguments you pass, that will create a tuple. And that tuple will be created by this star operator. And here if I make another normal parameter b, now you will need to pass two parameters here, 2, 3. Now after this 2 and 3, whatever number of arguments you will pass, that will create a tuple. So if I have 4, 5, 6, and now if I return args, see, there's only 4, 5 and 6 because 2 is the value of A and 3 is the value of B. Okay. But now if I pass these values here after this star arguments, right? So you'll see that it will throw an error at missing one required keyword only argument A. So why is it throwing an error? Because args, or you can say star operator, is written before this normal parameter, and whatever values it is getting, it is making a tuple of that. That's why none of the values can be assigned to this A parameter. That's why it is throwing an error. So remember, if you are making the normal parameter, if you are making a normal parameter, you need to put it before this star arguments like this. Okay. If you will write it after this, then it will throw an error as I show you, right? So hope this is clear. So now let's see how can we use this star operator as an argument. So here, as you know that the one which we pass here are the parameters, right? Let's write here. These are parameters. And the one which we pass here are the arguments. Right? So these are parameters and these are arguments. So by now we were using the star operator as parameters. But now let's see how can we use star arguments using arguments. Okay. So here, as you can see, we are passing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as numbers. So let's remove this A now. Okay. So as you know, we were passing these randomly. Now let's make a list of them. So L is equals to this, and then let's copy it, let's cut it and paste it here. Okay. Now let's pass L here. Now if I run it, see, it is unsupported operand types for plus equals to int and list, right? So it will throw an error. So for this, what you can do is you can write star L. Star L. So what this will do is it will unpack the list. Okay. So Here, as the list will get unpacked, the arguments will again be 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So when the arguments will again be in the same way, the arguments will be star operator will be able to convert it into a tuple, right? So now if I run it, see 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It is working properly. So here star operator unpacks the list. Here let's use a tuple. See, but here if I don't use star operator, see it will throw an error. So as arguments, if you are passing a list or a tuple, such kind of data set, then you need to pass this star operator so that it can unpack the data set. Okay, and after unpacking, the values will be in the same way as we were passing earlier, and this star operator will be able to make a tuple out of them. Although it is already a tuple, but to pass it to the function, we need to unpack it. Okay, so as you can see, it is working properly. So here let's give x. See, the answer is 20. Okay, so that was all about star operator. Hope it is clear to you. But if you have still any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. So see you soon in my next video, guys. Thank you so much.